YouTube, welcome into yet another episode of the Light the Fuse Houston Rockets series. We are currently 20 games into the season. We are going to pick up right where we left off on our last live stream where we were able to defeat the San Antonio Spurs, and we are currently now 9-11 through 20 games. It's been a much better season this year in season 2 than it was in season 1. We're going to take a look at some of our players' stats here really quickly as Jalen Green's taking that next step, and he's up to 27 points per game, 5 boards, and 5 assists. Looking like an absolute all-star this year. Jabari Smith Jr. in his sophomore season here with the Houston Rockets is once again at 22.9, 8 points, and 3 assists. Both these guys have taken a big jump to being possibly the duo that we're going to need here in Houston moving forward. Kenny Martin Jr. doing okay. Kenny Martin Jr. doing okay here. 8, 4, and 2. Nothing spectacular. Kevin Porter Jr. has been hurt most of the season, but he's averaging 10 and 8. Azubuike's been exactly what we've needed at that center position to solidify as in probably the best signing we've had. Obviously the best signing we've had here in Houston in the first 2 seasons, but he's averaging 9 and 9 with 2.3 blocks per game. So doing exactly what we're asking him to do in only 26 minutes per game. Tari Eason, 10 and 4 off the bench, solid. Shangoon, 9 and 6 off the bench, solid. Tyrese Proctor, one of our rookies, does a pretty good job. He's actually starting right now due to injuries. Scoot Henderson is averaging 10, 3, and 4. Kevin Love, he's done a nice job. He's actually starting now due to injuries as well. He's averaging, 10, 5, and 2 in only 17 minutes per game. So he may be somebody we look to see if there's some value at the trade deadline to go with. And then everybody else is kind of just doing their thing. Looking at the standings in the West, currently the Minnesota Timberwolves are 16 and 4. And then the Houston Rockets are all the way down here in the 10 seed, but we're in the play-in game right now, the play-in tournament. So we are competing for playoff spots in year 2. That's a good thing for the Houston Rockets for sure. In the Eastern Conference, the Philadelphia 76ers are running away with it early, 20 and 1 through the first 21st games. So that being said, if you've enjoyed this series at all, please think about hitting that subscribe button, making a comment on the video, telling me what you want to see more of, and hitting that notification bell. It would mean a tremendous amount to me. But what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and sim all the way up to the trade deadline. Okay, so we're going to make a sim all the way to the trade deadline on February 15th, and then we're going to look at some possible trades. So that being said, we're going to go ahead and start the sim. I'm going to try something different with this video and actually show the sim and kind of what's going through these games instead of just jumping like, hey, here's the trade deadline. So let me know if you like it this way or if you'd rather just say, hey, let's just jump to the next section. So we're going to simulate through the day here. We pick up a big win against Boston. We pick up another win against Memphis and Scoot Henderson. Finally getting Scoot Henderson back, and so we will be able to take Tyrese Proctor out of the starting lineup and put Scoot Henderson into the starting lineup as we're waiting on Kevin Porter Jr. to get healthy again as well. And so we'll put Ty Washington in the reserve spot. Scoot Henderson, we will move him, and that puts Garuba out of the lineup, I believe. That'll take Garuba out of the lineup as we'll put Scoot Henderson in there. We will swap minutes with Tyrese Proctor. Tyrese Proctor then will get all the minutes that he can get. We'll take 5 minutes from Bruno. And we'll take 5 minutes from Proctor. And there we go. Something like that. And that makes your Scoot Henderson's at 25. Jalen Green. And we'll actually take 5 minutes from Kevin Love and get Scoot Henderson up to 30 minutes per game. So there's going to be our rotation moving forward. And now we're simulating the next week. Rockets would get Johnson from the Hawks, which is actually a nice player for Tyrese Proctor, but we're not interested in trading Tyrese Proctor at all. And Azubuike is back. So we're starting to get our health back as we've had several injuries here. So we're going to adjust the rotation manually again. And that means we're going to be able to bring our man Azubuike back. We'll take Fernando out of the lineup. Take those minutes away from Fernando. We'll switch Kevin Love here with Azubuike. And we'll swap minutes there. We'll give Kevin Love those 10 minutes. And that means Azubuike's getting 25, exactly where we want to be. So we'll simulate through this week as well. So we're getting to that. And then Azubuike in his first game back goes down with a severe right ankle sprain. That's going to hurt us. Okay, so we're back to adjusting the rotation manually. Azubuike back out of the lineup. And we will go ahead and get Kevin Love back in the starting lineup and put him all the way back up to 25 minutes per game. And we'll take Azubuike's minutes out and put Garuba back in there. And he's going to be out for a while, so let's go ahead and we'll put him down here in the reserves. There we go. There's our 2 big injuries. It's Kevin Porter Jr. and Azubuike now. And we're going to simulate through this date. Nunez and Dort from the Thunder for Garuba. You know, that's a pretty nice trade. That's something we may look at. Man, that's going to be a tough one. I like Dort a lot, but I don't think that's the trade that we need right now. We're going to go ahead and decline that. We're going to lose to Golden State in back-to-back nights, puts us at 13-13. But we do pick up a big win there against Oklahoma City. And Kenyon Martin Jr. is now hurt. And so we'll adjust the rotation manually there as well. And we'll go ahead and let Tari Eason get the start. We'll take Kenyon Martin Jr.'s minutes down. Tari Eason will go up to 25 minutes per game. And we'll take him out of the rotation. That's going to put in Bruno Fernando back in the rotation. So we're going kind of a bigger lineup, which is not necessarily the best thing for us. Not necessarily the best thing for us here at all. And we'll actually take Fernando down to 10 and put Josh Christopher up there. Got to keep that rotation there. And simulate through this date now. Back-to-back wins over Oklahoma City. Chandler for Christopher. We will go ahead and decline that trade from the Celtics. We lose again to the Golden State Warriors, and another injury for Tari Eason, a pulled lower back muscle. So once again, Tari Eason, now we're out. We are challenging our depth majorly right now. So now Josh Christopher is going to get some starting time. We're going to have so many different starting lineups. It's incredible. So Josh Christopher's back in there. Tari Eason, he will go out. And since he is hurt, we may go ahead and let's get Garrison Matthews some playing time here. So he'll get his 15 minutes per game. Something like that. Simulate through this date now. The Rockets will get La Ravia from the Grizzlies for Proctor. We're going to decline that trade as well. The Bucks get us there. The Clippers and the Lakers make a trade. We'll go accept that. Oh, here comes the losing streak. We're on a 4-game losing streak right now. We're 15-17. We've got to get some of our players back healthy. That would really help us. There's a big win against the Bulls and another loss against the Jazz. Kenyon Martin's back in, so we will get him back into the lineup. And that will be a big move for us there. Get Kenyon swap minutes and move players. And we'll put Josh Christopher back there. Garrison Matthews' minutes go down. Josh Christopher's minutes go back up. So that gives us Scoot Henderson, Jalen Green, Kenyon Martin, Jalen Smith, and Kevin Love. So we got 3 of our 5 starters back. Simulate through the date. Once we get to the trade deadline, we'll check our stats to see how everybody's doing. There's a loss of the Nets there. Kevin Love is out with a sore left hand. We're going to go ahead and leave the rotation as is. Let him play through that. Another loss there to the Pelicans. And leave the rotation there as Kevin Love is fully hit. Melton for McConnell, Mavericks, and the 76ers are going to make a trade. Kenyon Martin Jr. has torn his right calf muscle, will be out 8 to 10 weeks. Kenyon Martin Jr. cannot keep healthy right now. It's kind of crazy. Kind of crazy that he cannot stay healthy right now. Swap minutes and players, and then we're going to put Josh Christopher back in there for Garrison Matthews. Garrison Matthews will go down to 15 minutes per game. And Josh Christopher's back in the starting lineup. So we only have 2 of our starters right now. Jalen Green and Jabari Smith Jr. are only 2 traditional starters are playing right now. Trade deadline, don't know what we're going to do yet. Tari Eason, let's go to adjust the rotation manually. So Tari Eason's back. That's good. That's good to have him back. So we'll get him out of there with Garrison Matthews. We'll put Garrison Matthews down to 0 minutes. Tari Eason will go up to 15. And we're going to start Tari Eason over Josh Christopher at the small forward position, take him down to 15 minutes per game, and Tari Eason will go up to 25 minutes per game. So simulate through this date, and there's the 76ers. They've just been rolling people. We do get a big win there against Cleveland. We're still 5 games under 500. The Mavericks and the Thunder agreed to a deal. Dort will head to Dallas with a 2nd-round pick for Finney Smith. That trade will go through, so Dort is now a Dallas Maverick. The Pistons are going to get Kevin Looney, and the Warriors are going to receive Oubre Jr. So a decent trade there, it looks like, for the Warriors. The Bucks receive a 1st-round pick from the Lakers and Larry Nance Jr., and the Pelicans will get Pat Connaughton. Okay, so the Bucks have made quite a few moves. As the Bucks also signed Damian Lillard the last live stream we had. Murphy and Lewis Jr. for TJ Warren and Muscala. Jazz and Pelicans make a trade. The Rockets would get Kelly Oubre Jr. and a 1st-round pick from the Warriors, and we would have to give up Josh Christopher and Kevin Love. We would get a first round pick in 28, but we'd have to go Josh Christopher and Kevin Love. I don't think we're going to make that trade right now. I do think we will be looking to move Kevin Love at some point, but not yet. Okay, so we're going to simulate through this day as well. Can we get healthy before the trade deadline? That would be big. That would be big. The Rockets receive Nwora from the Bucks, and we have to get Tari Eason in a second-round pick. We're going to decline that trade for the time being. The Rockets would get a 28th first-round pick from the Warriors, and Draymond Green for Tari Eason. I'm not interested in Draymond Green right now. It is his aging contract. He is going to have a free agent, but he is getting up there in age. And Azubuike's back right before the deadline. I like that. Azubuike's back, so we will get Garuba out, and we'll put Azubuike back in. So Garuba loses all his minutes there. We'll put Kevin Martin in there. Azubuike, give him his minutes there. Kevin Love will go out of the starting lineup, back into a rotation for 15 minutes a game. Azubuike will get the 25 minutes per game. He's doing such a good job defensively, rebounding, all that kind of stuff. The deadline's down here at February 15th, so we'll go ahead and simulate through this day to the deadline. See where that gets us. We lose to the Wolves. The Rockets would get a 28th first-round pick from the Hawks and Jalen Johnson. The Hawks would receive Josh Christopher and a second-round pick. We're going to decline that trade as well. We lose to the Lakers. All-star captains have been, would you like to view the All-Star? We're going to say no right now. The Heat receive Chris Paul and Rudy Gay, and the Suns get Cam Johnson and Brogdon. Ooh, big trade there between the Heat and the Suns. Chris Paul is heading to Miami with Rudy Gay. Malcolm Brogdon and Cam Johnson are heading back to Phoenix. Huge trade there between the Suns and the Heat. Hachimura is going from the Wizards to the Kings for Kevin Huerter. That seems like a realistic trade as well. Right before the deadline. And Azubuike has a right calf cramp. And we are going to go ahead and adjust rotations manually to do one thing real quick. We're going to go ahead and go to the settings and general, and we're going to get to trades. Actually, it's down here. It's going to be at the trade tuning sliders, trades, and we're going to make sure we have a bunch of trades here before the deadline. This is a Mike Lowe thing that I've seen him up the trade frequency up to 100 right before the deadline. So we're going to go and simulate through this date, see if there's any trades that come through so far, and they do not. Here's a look at all of our stats with the Houston Rockets right before the trade deadline as we have reached February 15th. Jalen Green's averaging 24.2 points per game, 5 boards and 4 assists. He is having a tremendous season. If you look here at his advanced stats, he's got a 17.7 game score, which means he is nearing all-star level. Jabari Smith as well is a 16. So both these guys are playing very, very well. Scoot Henderson, the rookie, he started 34 games due to injuries, and he's averaging 13, 3, and 5. We got everything we need out of him. He's right at NBA league average, and for a rookie, 20 years of age, I will take that for sure. Şengün, he's right at NBA league average as well. Kevin Love, he's playing right at NBA average, just slightly underneath it. We have not got Kevin Porter Jr. back. He's only got to play in 11 games this season. Tari Eason, off the bench, he's done okay. He's done okay off the bench, averaging 9 and 5. Tyrese Proctor, our backup point guard right now, he started 11 games but played in all 56 games. So far this season, he's averaged 8.5 and 3. And for a backup point guard, that's doing just fine for us. And this guy right here, Azubuike, if you look at what he did in Utah, just did not do well in Utah. But if you see what he's doing here, he's at league average for a starting center with only a 73 overall. He's averaging 8 points, 9 boards, and 2.3 blocks. He's doing exactly what we're asking him to do. Unfortunately, he's only been able to play in 21 games due to injuries, but he's doing exactly what we want him to do. So very excited about him. Kenny Martin Jr. has not done a lot. Josh Christopher, same kind of thing, but they're doing well enough to help us. We are currently 23 and 33. Injuries have been the big issue. Why we are not winning games right now, I think, is just due basically to injuries. Golden State's at 39 and 17, and then we're all the way down here at 23 and 33. So we're still battling for that play-in game. The 6 seeds 36 and 22. The 7 seeds 33 and 21, and then it really kind of a drop-off between Portland, Dallas, LA, Houston. We're all kind of battling. There's what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4 teams battling for 4 spots. 4 teams battling for 3 spots. So if we can somehow catch the Lakers, we're only a half game back and get into the play-in. I think that would do a lot for us. So we're going to make some looks and see if there's anybody out there on the trade deadline to go get and see if anybody's got anybody on the block. The first move we're going to make here at the trade deadline is one that I did not expect to make, but as looking at the Toronto Raptors, they are currently in the 13th seed in the Eastern Conference, and they're trying to offload OG Anunoby. and we can obviously offload Kevin Love. This is a kind of a money drop for Toronto, as they are going to be able to get rid of OG Anunoby's contract of $18.6 million this year, which they'll pay most of it. But then next season, you see they will have a lot of cap space in free agency. Plus, Anunoby has a chance to get that 19.9 player option. And I think this is a good deal for us because of what he's able to do here. He's averaging 16 and 5, which is a pretty good starting small forward. They also have a small forward in waiting that they drafted last year. And so with his gamer score at 12.1, he's playing above league average. I think this would solidify our small forward position, which is one of the positions that we are weakest at. And so we're going to trade Kevin Love in a second round unprotected pick for OG Anunoby. And the reason we're being kind of buyers here at the deadline is because we have a chance to be in the playing game. And I think Anunoby, at only being 26 years of age, is also somebody that we can have no problem at least coming back for one more year and being that small forward. Moves Kenyon Martin back down into his more comfortable role on the bench spot. So we're going to go ahead and make this trade with OG Anunoby with the Toronto Raptors for Kevin Love. And there's the trade. And so this is funny. Why it does this, because they declined that. So apparently they don't want that second round pick, because if we go trade finder here and we go to the Raptors, the reason I went this way is because they actually, as I was shopping Kevin Love around, went this way. So OG Anunoby, and right there, the first one's Kevin Love and Anunoby straight up. So they don't want the draft pick apparently. So we're going to go ahead and make this trade. And there it is. So Anunoby is coming from the Toronto Raptors to the Houston Rockets. After looking around the league, no more trades made a lot of sense to us for Houston. So we are going to be moving forward with this lineup now into the second half of the season. Scoot Henderson will continue to be the starting point guard until Kevin Porter Jr. gets back healthy. And then we're going to have to debate who's the better player there to lead this team into the second half of the season, as we're heading hopefully to the play-in tournament. Scoot Henderson, Jalen Green, he's going to get 35 minutes per game. Anunoby, the newly acquired small forward, is going to get 30 minutes per game. We're going to continue to play Jabari Smith Jr. at 35 minutes per game as well. Shane Goon will move into the starting role until we can get Azubuike back healthy. Tari Eason goes to that six-man role, 25 minutes per game. Tyrese Proctor will be the first guard off the bench. Josh Christopher will be that swing man off the bench, getting 15 minutes per game. Bruno Fernando will get 15 minutes per game. And Garuba, 10 minutes per game right now. Ty Washington and Garrison Matthews are the only two healthy guys we got left on this bench, as we have Kevin Porter Jr., Kenyon Martin, and Azubuike are hurt. Kevin Porter Jr. and Kenyon Martin are pretty serious injuries, but we should be getting Azubuike back pretty soon. So moving forward, that's the lineup. I think it's a good enough lineup to possibly, can we go catch the Los Angeles Lakers, as we are right now competing for this right now. We want to be somewhere in this 8, 9, 10 range, and we're a half game back of the Los Angeles Lakers. So we're just trying to make sure we beat the Lakers and hold off the Thunder and get in there. So I think our roster, as presently constructed, is good enough to get in that playing game, and that'd be a fantastic role for us moving forward. But that's going to do it for this episode. If you're enjoying this, I did this video completely different than I've done the other videos. Please tell me which one you like better. If you like this or you want me to chop it up a little bit more, what do you want to see as the 23-33 Houston Rockets kind of make a big splash at the deadline? It's not a trade. It's not that real pretty trade that maybe a lot of people are wanting. But I think Anunoby coming in and possibly into the next year, as we don't have to lock him up long term, and it doesn't strap us for cap, as we allow this young team to continue to grow. And I think we're heading towards a good future. And as you see, the record's 23-33. We've already surpassed our win total from last year, which is what we wanted to do. I think this is a 30-35 win team, and hopefully that's good enough to get us into the playing game. But that's going to do it for this episode. If you enjoyed the content, please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, smash the like button, and hit that notification bell. And I will catch you on the next one, which should be a live stream to check out the new team after the trade deadline.